Okay, good afternoon. Here we go. It's me, Miracure. We pulled it up here. All right, coming into the last 2 hours of the day, last 2 hours of the week. We did gap down, made the move down to 652, like I was expecting yesterday, down to 655, 652. Seems like there's even more uncertainty as we gap down lower and lower. A little bit of stairs to the downside here into the weekend with a lot of uncertainty. So we really waiting to see. But so far today, we've been holding below the VWAP. Rejected it a couple of times, and we just in the last 30 minutes or so, we broke below the structure, made a new low a day. So this is looking pretty weak if we want to go lower. I don't really like the idea of us going too much lower, but right now that's where it's pointing to. I don't really see a big spike going into the weekend with the exuberance. There's more uncertainty, probably more of like a waterfall into the weekend, or just a flattening out. But we may get another move down a little bit lower. And I'm not exactly sure. So 65-minute Bitcoin, it's just holding this area here. But the 4 hour on the SPY, we're hitting this November low here. This is that area we're at right here. This is very important. So this could be a nice little sweep if we go below this. What is the exact low of this candle here? 650.85. So 650.85. We can sweep that today. And well, we kind of did by 2 cents. 650.56. But yeah, so this is I don't know. It looks more like we're heading towards this 100 SMA here. But I would like to think that will come up and retest. But with this uncertainty going into this weekend and this past week with all the escalation, and then the wars cost already 25 billion, they're requesting 200 billion. That's a lot of money. It's costing a lot, and there's a lot of uncertainty, a lot of fear. The VIX is at 26, almost 10% on the day. SMCI, crazy enough, it's not on here, but it's down like 20% today. The one of the co-founders was apparently like smuggling NVIDIA H200 chips or GPUs over to China. Some crazy stuff. They've been speculating on that for years, though. So yeah, a lot of interesting stuff happening. But I'm looking out for a trade, possibly some weakness here. If we break the low, then we can catch a deeper move here. Haven't taken a single trade on this account since the 59.77. I had to reset it. It's been like 6 days now. I still haven't taken a trade. Oh yeah, let me put this music on here real quick. There we go. Hopefully that works. So we're just gonna be paying attention to this area right here, and then this 650.50 area, the low a day. Kind of see if it really wants to go a little bit lower, then look for a scalp on that. Really need to get this account going. It's been a while. I haven't really taken many trades. I thought today was Thursday actually, so I was gonna trade in the morning, but then I realized that it's Friday, so figured just wait until the end of the day. But we did gap down, and then we got a nice little move here. But see if there's something here at the end of the day. Power hours coming up in about 55 minutes, and then just trying to feel the market out for the weekend. It's definitely short-term volatility, but it should resolve relatively soon. In the next few weeks, this will probably resolve, and we'll be back at 670, back towards 700 over the next couple months. But for now, going into this weekend, today's Friday, going into next week with a lot of uncertainty about whether they're going to put boots on the ground, whether they're going to actually get more funding and spend more money on this. And the oil prices are looking like they want to break out. A lot of volatility and uncertainty with prices and inflation and things like that. So the market is not really given too much upside, or it's not really looking like there will be much upside going into the end of the day. Maybe early next week, if things over the weekend are chill, nothing too bad happens, or things kind of slowly work themselves out. Right now, the market's been down, gapping down 3-4 days in a row. Just a lot of overnight price action and then consolidation during the day, kind of making moves towards the end of the day, mostly after consolidating. So, and today it looks kind of similar. Some kind of inflection point here, and we retested the VWAP. See if it sweeps the low day. Oh yeah, and the private credit thing, all the private credit liquidity crunch. Now they're saying that JP Morgan and Goldman Sachs are offering hedge funds a way to short private credit, which is pretty much a red flag. Because like I was saying yesterday, like the only way they could make their money back or even get close to breaking even is to like short themselves. It seems crazy. This uncertainty has been lasting for weeks, a month or two. With this downtrend, the SPY is down around like, I think it's like 6 or 7% from the highs. Maybe now more like 8% from the highs. And yeah, look like we're going for that low a day here. We're getting close to that 650.50 area. But when this uncertainty changes and we get a big gap up and a rip and we close it high a day, we'll get a big candle like that probably in the next week or two, and then it's going to be a rally back to highs. It's going to erase all these losses really fast. That's why it's not advisable. It's never a good idea to sell, to take losses on your long-term, specifically long-term portfolio. Right now, the 649 put is like 50 cents, 54 cents. It's pretty volatile, but not really any confirmation on a lower, on going any lower or getting down to 650 or even below that so far. But something like that, 649 put is 56, 57 cents. We're pushing low a day. We just hit a new low a day here. So my account's only $59. So the only thing I could afford is something like that. A 648 put is 45 cents. But I'm looking for that late entry, early exit, which this could be something like that, but just 10 minutes into, it's not even power hour yet. That's pretty weak. $650.38. Okay, we're going a little bit lower here. All right. I'm not seeing a big move here. I'm looking for a little bit more momentum. The key here will probably be if it breaks 650 or how it reacts at 650. If it gets down to 650 and if it doesn't sell, get down below, then it's probably not too much room left, but maybe closer towards the end of the day, we'll get a bigger sell-off. We'll get a bigger move either way. So for now, just be patient for that. I'm looking for a more significant move. The VIX is still elevated, same 26, up almost 9%, so it's not a good look going into the weekend. What's to be expected? The opportunity in the market is not just not just timing when the market's gonna bounce, but it's noticing that the trend has changed. It's noticing when it has already begun. So when we get that first gap up and a big green candle that closes, it's more than likely that that's a signifier of a bottom in this trend break, that we have a slight trend break on the weekly chart. And that's the real worry right now, is that we're starting a downtrend from the all-time high. We're down 6, 7, 8% now. But it's not about trying to find the specific day that it bounces, but it's just recognizing when that bottom has been put in. And you can a lot of the times tell within a few days or maybe a week. Sometimes you'll put in a big candle like that and then it'll gap down again. Like in 2022, we had a lot of days like that where it would gap down over and over, even after putting some significant bounce or green candles in between. But I don't think we're in that big of a uncertain, fear-driven market here, even though the market's in an extreme fear state. That's more of a buy signal than anything, and for most people. But in the very short term, like the next day, the next few days, that's the reason why the market is not able to really get anything up right now, put in much of a bounce. still below 652, 651. Now, if it breaks 650, then we may get a bigger move down, possibly a few dollars, possibly just $1 or $2. But that's kind of what I'm thinking. And going into the end of the week, I think it's more likely that we have a move kind of like this. That's what it looks like it's forming, actually. This is kind of what I'm thinking of. Maybe even more of like a bigger candle, but I'm not exactly sure. That's just what I'm kind of, my intuition's telling me here. And if I'm looking for an opportunity to scalp momentum, then it's probably going to be that way. You're saying that the US debt, which is like 36 trillion right now, is projected to reach 150 trillion by 2055, minus tariff revenues. So I don't know how significant that is, minus tariff revenues. I don't think the tariff revenues are driving that much of a impact in GDP. But in our debt, the US debt load is projected to reach 150 trillion in 30 years. I don't think that has any accounting of efficiency of productivity with automation at all. And I don't think it has any calculation of the humanoid robots that Tesla and Elon Musk are looking to deploy, and all these other companies that there's companies now that are looking to buy warehouses or buy manufacturing warehouses inside the United States and just purchase them and then automate them. And that's like their whole business. They're raising like 100 billion. I forget which company, but they're raising like 100 billion to purchase manufacturing sites and then just automate their workflow. And that's going to be happening much more. And eventually it's going to show up in earnings reports. And like Meta's projected to lay off 20% of their workforce. Apparently Meta wants to lay off 20% of their workers sometime soon, and they calculate that that's going to have like a 5% boost on their EPS. And that's just like a small example of what the future may look like. Companies laying workers off, automating their manufacturing, automating their processes, and then putting that money right back to the top line. These companies become more profitable. The opportunities change. We're getting close to that 650. I kind of want to take a short under 650, but it would be kind of a late entry, to be honest. If I don't really like the entry right below a significant level like 650, but the only thing I would be able to do is take a 648 puts at 40 cents, because these things would move so fast. It's still not really anything too significant. Got close to 650. Yeah, it's just a slow grind down, day by day, gapping down, gapping up, and then selling off at the end of the day. They're saying that oil prices are going to average out to $120 per barrel if the Strait of Hormuz is closed for 6 months. That's like never happened before. It's pretty rough. I don't really think it needs to go that far, but that's a really complicated situation when you're, working with other countries and allies and things like that to create mutual benefits. It's not just about taking what someone else has or taking over necessarily, but it's really about trying to work together to find a mutual solution that benefits both parties. That's ideal. That's what should be doing. Man, I want to take the 648 put here. It's at like 50 cents, but kind of not the best. I don't really like the entry right under 650 because you can get trapped so easily in a situation like that. I'd rather wait a little bit longer. So I have like an hour and a half until the market closes. So if we do want to put a bigger leg down, then it'll give us a better opportunity than this. And this late entry is really an early entry if I would look at the chart. We're barely testing the 650 level for the first time since, who knows, November before that. And so we'll see how it reacts here. We may drop all the way down to 649 pretty quickly and then bounce back up and then look for a different opportunity, a different entry. But these contracts are like 50 cents right now still. It's definitely enterable. I would enter it, but I don't know. I'm kind of like pretty hesitant to take a trade and like right away. But yeah, there it goes. Right down to 649, just like that. Contracts at 77 cents. Boom, that's like a 30% move right there. Real quick. That would have been the late entry. It's not the one that I want though, but that's good. Got them straight to 649. Perfect. Contracts at 90 cents. Beautiful. I definitely feel like I missed it, but it's okay because it's just one candle. That's like the one candle that has moved in the past 3 hours. I'm not really too worried about it, but contracts at $1 now from 50 cents, 100%. Just like that. Below 649. Man, it's going quicker now. Yep. Missed the opportunity. But I want to see it bounce back. We broke a significant level, the 650 level, but that's kind of the same reason why I was hesitant to take an entry, so I didn't. But contracts move 100%, still there at $1. It's a weird time. What happened? Did anything happen? I don't know. Let's see. And so the biggest candle of the day, I think. Goes down 300,000 on the year. But my portfolio is only down like a couple thousand on the year, my long term. But I don't even have that much. I have like barely 5 figures. But this guy, Captain Crunch, he had like $250,000 in his account at the beginning of the year. Now he's down to 500, below 500. That's when you're in high beta stocks like that, that's just a fluctuation. I saw someone post this morning about investing comes down to you have to be willing to risk 20%. You have to be willing to take a 20% drawdown to make 200% in the long term. And that's really what it comes down to for most companies, most good stocks, good companies that make money, profitable companies that have a moat, have a big customer base that is a recurring customer base. Those are the companies that make money, that have good growth metrics, growth stocks. companies that lay off 20% of their workforce to make 5% more on their EPS, those are good companies like Meta. We're gonna see more of that. Amazon's doing it too. They're gonna replace all their workers with robots. I hope they do. I really, because they don't pay enough to their workers anyway. They don't offer equity to most of their employees, which I don't really understand. See if it'll even backtest 650 now. Backtest it. The VWAP is way up there. I'm surprised. Trump administration making heavy preparations for potential use of ground troops in Iran. That's what the market doesn't want to hear going into the weekend, and that's the reason why we're going lower here. That's the reason why we're probably going to sell off a few more dollars into the end of the day, if that's the news that's coming out right now. The market's not going to like, because there's just a lot of uncertainty going into the weekend. So well, the more bearish that people get, though, in general, the closer we get to the bottom, the closer we get to that day where we bounce and we put the bottom in. 650. Yeah, really just disrespected the 650 level like nothing. Okay, 2-minute chart. Nice rejection on the 90 MA on the 2-minute chart here. Doesn't look doesn't look bullish. Not much of a bounce. No support. Well, the support is actually at 648, 649 area. That's the level from the November low. It's like the 649, right around 649. how much of a bounce can you put in any bounce? Oh. Yeah, that would have been a decent trade though, because I forgot that that level is the 649 level is the November low. So that 650 kind of could have expected it to be ran through like that. We just ran straight through it right down to 649. And that should have actually been expected. So the entry, that late entry right there on that trade would have been excellent because I have the line marked out on my 2-minute chart right at 649 where that low is, and we kind of swept it. But we had it, you know, we magnetized right to it, so it was not too bad. But now the thing is, are we gonna really slip below that level again, below 659, 649, and then make a new low a day? If we do, then there's probably gonna be some to catch there. But taking an entry here, it's kind of, this is a not a late entry, it's early for this. They have to break the low again. So it looks like it's almost there. $6.47 puts at 55 cents. 6.47 puts at 55 cents. I'm not entering it, but we're gonna have to move up a strike, move down a strike from there if we do break the low, if I want to scalp this. And after that, 647 is the low. Low. Mm-hmm. 647. Yeah, so 649 level and then low a day, and then 647 is the low, the lowest low from around that end of last year, the last half of last year. So 647 is going to be somewhat important if we do get down there. So that's going to be somewhere in between there is what I would be looking to scalp possibly. We do want to have continuation here. Hour and a half until the market closes. $6.49 break. Looks pretty rough here. Still haven't broken the low, so nothing. Starting to break. Looks pretty weak here. Seriously. $0.20 from low a day. Contracts right at 57 cents, but no entry. Oh man. This is a tough trade right here because contracts are like 60 cents. My account's 59. So I really have to look for a different setup. Make a new no day right there. Yep. Contracts volatile. Below the 649. Moving towards 658, 648. 646 put is at 44 cents, so that's the only thing I'm going to be able to look out for here if we do continue here. This 5-minute doesn't close for 2.5 though. Missed a good part of it, but crazy. Down 1.7 on SPY. I just really don't like entering trade right here, entering the put right here. It's kind of missed the first half of this. Kind of gotta be patient here. Almost down to 648. Okay, almost to power hour, 20 minutes to power hour, so want to catch something. See if it'll back test 650 though. Still weak. No buying at all. Wow. All right. Looks pretty weak. Below 648, I might want to go for these 646 puts, but let's see. I don't want to be too late to this move. $648. Still low. Put in some kind of hammer candle on the 2-minute chart. I don't know if we're bottoming here, but decline is steeping for sure. Right back down to 648. Let's see. Holding up too well. $6.46 puts at like 50 cents here. It's kind of tempting if we break the low. Already missed a lot of it, so it's kind of hard. Not even power hour yet. Below 648. New low at day. See if it can put in a bounce. Already down here. Let this candle close. Get into power hour and see what it does. Looks weak. I just don't really like entering the puts right here, but you might have to. Back to lower day. Candle close weak. Well, we're holding below 648 here. It's tempting to take the 646 put at 50 something cents, 54 cents here, but kind of want to see if it puts in a bounce at all. Going into the power hour. 10 minutes until power hour. the last hour of the market. Yeah, I don't know. I kind of feel the bounce coming in, but if we do bounce to 650, but can't really trade that. If I was really risky, I would take the 650 put, the 650 call right now, 55 cents, but and then sell it at the low of day. Take a stop loss at low of day, but I'm not gonna do that because it's against the trend. It's not really ideal here. There's really no setup. 21's at 649. Intel down 5% today, $43.86. Well, a lot of names, most tech names are down today, a few percent. SPY is down 1.8% now on the day. On the week, it's probably down 3-4%. Well, more like 2-3% from the highs of the week. From 3 days ago, down 4%. Okay. Is that working? I had to use the restroom real quick. And we're still by the low of day. I missed this move right here. This move through 650, totally missed it. A nice 100% trade here. In this one candle. All right, 3 minutes. Power hour. Contracts are doable. I'm trying to make some light quick make that trade. But just trending down right now. I don't know if it's going to keep that way till the close. $648. Bounces 650 and then possibly go lower. All right, 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock Eastern time, power hour. Let's see, bouncing. It's a pretty good bounce candle here on the 2-minute chart. The problem is that the 650 calls are 60 cents. So pretty much like pricing me out of being able to trade this bounce if I was going to. What I'm really looking for is a bounce towards 650 and then another rejection and another move lower into the end of the day. We got 59 minutes left, so that's my premonition, but I don't know. It doesn't really matter which way it goes, we can capitalize on either way. But I need a definitive leg in either direction. Right now we're consolidating, going back into the towards the middle. There's really not much of a bounce can be put in here with all the uncertainty going into the weekend. Right up at the 21 EMA on the 2-minute chart at 649 level. Yeah, that's a great quote by Robert Greene. The wisest hustler can suddenly fall for the worst tramp and lose all his money on her. The hustler is aware of his own weaknesses and openings to combat. This awareness is his edge. But that's about right. In trading, it's really about knowing yourself, knowing the way that you behave in certain situations, the way that you respond or react to certain types of price action, and knowing when it's acceptable and when it's unacceptable to enter a trade or even exit a trade, or even consider a trade based on many factors and confluences. And that's why it's complex, because you can simplify it to just a few things, just looking at price action. You can look at candle by candle price action, and it can work. But the more you understand, the more that you can constitute into your singular strategy and systematic process, then, and the more that you remember yourself and know yourself in the way that you act, you become better and more responsive, more responsible, and within the markets. And it's really just an act of wisdom over time. And that's partially why I love the market, because it allows you to understand parts of yourself that you wouldn't otherwise in a very specific way, psychologically, emotionally, financially. And it can change your life pretty quick. The volatility is the opportunity. And that's what I'm looking to demonstrate. It's really as easy as you make it out to be. And the key is the key is patience and taking less trades, waiting longer, studying price action more. And really kind of understanding the driving factors of the markets, like geopolitics and like economic forces, and like innovation, specifically with technology, artificial intelligence, and automation. with all the investment, the and really like private equity and private credit. Really going sideways here now. Not much of a low day, not much of a bounce. Now we're looking for it to set up. If it's going to bounce, then maybe it'll set that up here, give us a better opportunity to take an entry. I still prefer downside, but we've already made decent move, but we're below any relative support. So right here, it's pretty much not the best time to go long. Although we can definitely bounce, but we're pretty far extended from that VWAP. Go drop in further. Okay, dropping pretty good here. $647.31 low day. Only thing I could really do is take like a 646 put, but it's only 40 cents. If it's gonna break below 647, it's just continuation. We close on a low today, so we gap up next week. And these contracts are pretty volatile here. 45 minutes till the close. I'm surprised we didn't really bounce very much. Checked it to 21 EMA and made a new low day. Pretty much no bounce at all. Swept a low day. Let's see what happens. I'm looking for a scalp. If I take a scalp, I'm probably just gonna be in for like 60 seconds. Determined. If it goes against me, just hit the gun. Every bounce just ends up going lower so far on the day. No significant bounces, but broken any previous high on the day at all today. See a phone call or not. Just get a number anyway. Gotta file my taxes around tax season now. Okay. I'll probably take a scalp though if we do by the end of this 5 minute candle. If we want to break the low day and go lower, then it's probably worth a scalp. If not, if we try to bounce here, then we're gonna have to be a little bit more patient. But if we do get a sell off and we want to break that 647.30 and go down to 647, break below that, it's probably worth the scalp. But we need to break the low day and close the candle. That would be the only way. You get some lunch after the market closes too. I don't know what. Either make some avocado toast or oatmeal. I don't really know. Avocado toast. $6.48 coming up. Let's see. Back towards the 21 EMA on the 2 minute chart. I'm going to reject the 21 EMA again and then go lower. If we get above it, then that'll be the first time we close above the 21 EMA pretty much the whole day. Well, since we were at the VWAP, which is at the beginning of the morning. Yeah, we really haven't done that. We're rejecting the 21 EMA. If we were to get above it, above 648, 15, 20, then it would give us possibly room to bounce back up towards 650, but it's pretty unlikely because there's a lot of uncertainty in the market right now and on the timeline. People are declining to comment on their plans with the weekend and the Middle East conflict, and then there's a lot of uncertainty about the oil prices because of these things. The market is more likely to close on a lower low, but there's still no confirmation of any lower here. If we break the low, then it could be a scalp. But the 647 put right here is basically at 59 cents, so I'm not gonna be able to take that because it's gonna be out the if we break the low here. So I'm gonna have to pull up a 646. It's only 35 cents. That's the problem. It's not really the ideal situation to trade right here like this. We're getting close to that lower day. But this is mid candle, so it's a little different. Let's see if any of these green candles sustain. Probably not. A couple green candles coming in. All right, let's see. I kind of like this short here. 647. No, I see. I can't take it. They keep pricing me out of it. 646 put 40 cents. Let's see. Let me see if I this spot right here. I like this downside here. We're breaking the low, but this contract is not really ideal. Try to enter one. 646. Nope. Okay, entering the 646 at 49 cents here. $0.48. 646.86. So I took one at 49. It's at break even. Give it a little minute. See. We just closed that 5 minute. Down $4 on it. Okay, let's see. Still no movement. All right, contract's down $10. That's the late entry. And back above 647. Candle closed really on the low though. Give it about a minute or two, and then just stop out of it. We don't get an extended move here down. Low day 646.79. Yeah, these contracts really volatile, down like 15 bucks here. Not surprised. I entered right at the close at the low of day, so I'm not surprised. It's 47. Yeah, it's just bouncing now. 4 minutes in a row. Down back basically 20 bucks now. It's pretty rough. Bounced 4 candles in a row to the 9 EMA. We just put in a big red candle though and closed it low of day, so I'm surprised that we bounced right after that one candle. It's a trap, literally. I got caught in a trap here, I'm pretty sure. Unless we make a new low day, but it's not looking like that. It looks like actually it's gonna bounce right here. Based on the 1 minute chart, it looks like it's gonna go up. Down 20 bucks. It is what it is. I always hesitate on the trades that do like 100% right away. Like I miss all the good trades, and then I kind of end up taking a trade and getting trapped, which is what this is looking like. Yeah. Big green volume on the 1 minute chart. Right in the middle of that 5 minute red candle. Back below 647. I don't know if it's gonna make a new low a day. These contracts still gonna be cooked up. I don't really see. The contract's about $15 down. This is where I would actually stop out. It's looking bullish, to be honest. 1 minute chart. Still think we closed lower, but this I took an entry at the worst time possible right there, right at the close of that 5 minute candle, right at the low of day. So I'm getting wiped right now. Yep. Yep. There's this. At the 21. This reminds me of last week. It's exactly the same thing that happened last week. I waited like the whole day, and then I took the trade, and I got smoked on Friday with my small trade in Power Hour. The contracts move like 50% so quick. But that's what this feels like. Feels like I took a bad entry. The late entry didn't continue with no continuation, and then we just put in 5 green 1 minute candles, and we haven't made a new low a day yet. The last week I tried to let it run and see if it would eventually end up in the money, but yeah, ended up actually selling it for a max loss. I don't know. Are we gonna break low a day? Kind of doubt it here, but I feel like I don't know. That bounce kind of makes me doubt it. Still down $12. A lot of volatility. These contracts are not really ideal to day trade. But we have no movement. The only movement since I entered was just in a rejection to the EMA 21. Now we're closer to the low a day again, but we need momentum, selling pressure. Finish my coconut water. Contract's still down, even though we just made a new low a day, but not really. It's not really much. We got to get all the way down to 646, like basically run it in the money for this contract to actually kind of be green. My entry price is 49 cents. It's at 37. It's at 39 right now. My entry's at 49. Yeah, see, I took the late entry at the bottom of that 5-minute candle. We closed it low a day. It's not a bad entry, but immediately after that close, we took 5 1-minute candles to bounce back to the 9 and the 21 EMA, and then finally rejected off of the fair value gap that we made on that 5-minute candle. Now we're making a new low a day. The contract's still at break even basically, which is crazy, but yeah, so that's why now we're looking for the move is close to 646, which is the strike that we have. The move is close to 646 as possible, but I'm gonna just take it off once it because this is like the last 30 minutes of the day. I'm not really looking to risk any profit. I'm up like $10 here now, so I'm probably gonna sell this for a market in about 5-10 seconds. $646.34. Okay, we're at the low day. Let's see. 646. Okay, I'm about to take it off right here. Okay, took it off for only a $19 profit, but entry at 49 cents, or actually entry at 48 cents, exit at 67 cents. So made a little bit of money in that 10-minute trade. I really would have only wanted to take like 1 or 2 minutes into the trade, but contract's at 70 cents now, 80 cents. All right, cool. Well, that's the first green trade so far. It went against me for the first 5 minutes. So I will say it wasn't managed perfectly. I should have stopped out on it when it was down like 10-20 points, but because it's Friday, because it's power hour, I had to take that little extra risk, and it's the only first trade on this. So contract's now in the money, still at 80 cents, so surprising. Even at in the money, it's still only 80 cents. 646 put. Now it's at 90 cents. Okay. Well, I profited $19, or it says 24.5%. Contract's hitting $1 now from 49, 48 cents. Not too bad, but that late entry that I tried to take there was. So I took the late entry right here at this close of this candle, because that was my signal that we're gonna make the move lower towards 46, 47, 46. But then we spent whole 5-minute candle bouncing back to the 21 on the 2-minute chart, or the 1-minute chart, and then we made the move. So my $49 contract was down about $20 right here. So really, that's like a loss I would have had to take in most situations. But just because of this direction of this chart, this confirmation that I entered, and that we're backtesting the EMAs, I had to take that. The move ended up playing out, and now it's continuing even further, but contracts are only at $1, so they're at 100% right now. At this moment, right here is 100% from the bottom of this candle at 50 cents to right here at $1. So that's would actually be much more significant if it wasn't the last 30 minutes of the day. So now it's 50 cents in the money. Not a bad trade, but the entry was not too good. But So that's basically that. Okay, the market closes in 20 minutes. We're down to 645. Wow, $1 in the money. Crazy. Like I said, we're gonna sell off into the close. Here we go. Contracts at $1.50. So could have made like $100 on that, but it would have been up $100 right here. But that's not really the goal of the trade. The goal of the trade was really to just get in and get out without risking too much. But trying to end with a green trade. Well, this is the first trade since I had this $59 account. This whole week I've been waiting, so kind of felt kind of the need to take a trade today. But I got to be less hesitant with the trades earlier in the day because there was a great trade that I totally missed. It was a 100% trade, which was actually right here. I think it was I can't remember which one. No, it was right here. We had close right here, and no, it was actually back here. Yeah, I think it would have been this. This time right here is just confusing. Yeah, it was basically right here. We closed below right when I got on, and then this move was a 100% move though here, which is surprising. It just doesn't look like it here, but then we ended up taking the trade here. Really just a curl extension down. This is just the uncertainty in the market showing up on the chart. Pretty simple. I don't really know. All right, well, made some progress. It's not too bad. Made something better than nothing. But it was pretty hard for me to actually take a trade. I was really hesitant. Hopefully next week I'll be able to take better trades. It's really the goal is just to take better trades. 'Cause that's why I'm being so patient because I'm waiting for the right opportunities that with all my confluences and everything aligning. So it's really just kind of a patience game at the end of the day. And it's really slow at first, but as I grow this account, it will speed up and it'll compound and it'll you know all these things that I'm dealing with now will be meaningless. So it's the way that you manage an account like this is the exact complete total opposite is how you would manage an account with a lot more capital and you're being a little bit more um, risky with your entries and exits because your position size actually has weight and you can adjust your position size. When I'm at a small account, you can't really adjust your position size, and especially where I'm starting with $50, there's only one position size. So the risk to reward is skewed. there is no position size. The only factor, like I said again, is time and trade. That's the only thing that matters. So even spending those 5 minutes with the trade going against me today wasn't ideal. But we're underneath the 9 EMA and the 21 EMA, which is the trend, and we haven't closed above that, not at all, pretty much the whole day. On the 2 minute chart, on the 1 minute chart only, in a real way, for only a couple minutes at a time, and just rejecting. So I had to let the trade go against me because of my late entry. In this case, it ended up playing out very well, and we got that extended move right here all the way down. Definitely missed out a little bit on that, but you know, when the whole point of having a bigger account is so that you can afford to spend more time in the trade, let the trade play out, capitalize on the fullness of the move. Now we're getting the first decent bounce in the whole day off the low, the V shape. Contracts back down to 54 cents, basically back down to the entry. This surprising because we're contracts back to break even here from where I had entered, and we're actually pretty significantly off from where my entry was. The theta decay is extreme these last 30 minutes. The good thing is that the contract 646 put was in the money by over $1 on that low, so that's pretty good. Negative 2% at the lows on SPY on the day. Okay, so my account's now up to $77.45 from $59.77. Now up to $77.45. Close the week slightly green, not too bad. $15 minutes till the close. All right. I had to go use the restroom real quick. Gotta go get some lunch. Starving. What is going? $12.50. Just a 10-minute rigged. Ten-minute rigged candle. 646 still. I need to calculate how much percentage the account's up. What is the percentage change? My phone is like just melting. I don't know what it is, but I have an iPhone 10 or something, and it's like melting in my hand. I can't even use my phone for a few hours without it just crashing. It's terrible. I can't afford a new phone though. Yeah, this is crazy. Okay, the percentage change from 59.77 to 77.45. Is 29.58%. Okay. Gee. Wonder why my phone's crashing, because they're putting an advertisement on this website without, like, and I can't do anything about it. It's like just a massive advertisement covering my whole screen. It's great. And it literally is following me as I scroll. Oh man. Okay. Let me just screenshot this and close it. Man, I hate this website. It literally has this giant black screen that's trying to load a advertisement, and then it says underneath it, this website is trying to help you out. Man, I hate these websites. They're so stupid. Okay, well, I'm gonna have to just probably gonna have to do something else because my phone is overheating. My laptop's probably overheating. It's pretty bad. There's nothing I can do about it. It's really hot outside, and I have no air conditioning because I don't like to use it. So there's bounce at the end of the day, going a little bit higher. It's the only green candles of the day, basically. This is crazy. Just down the whole day, just down. It's the only bounce of the day. 644.73. Wow. This whole room below 652 was the move. Everything below 652, like I was saying yesterday, was the whole move. Very good. What happens next week is just going to be based on what happens over the weekend. So the only way that the market's going to bounce is if there's no escalation and there's only positive news over the weekend. If not, then it's more than likely that we just consolidate or continue downtrending. We'll have to see what happens. There'll definitely be plenty of opportunity in the market next week to capitalize on. This week was pretty rough, honestly. A lot of these days were just pretty sideways. Just a lot of gapping up and sideways, gap down, sideways, gap down, and a couple moves at the end of the day. That was really the best thing to take advantage of is the moves at the end of the day because most of the other half of the move is happening overnight. In the morning, we're mostly just consolidating until something happens. And then the market reacts and then goes into the overnight session and something else happens and then we open up in a different place and then it just repeats. So that's what it looks like. The market is just repeating now until all these things are kind of figured out or solved. Go grab my Celsius. Okay. I think that's top. All right. Got the Celsius, but the Celsius is be like dirty. Like I have to clean the top of it every time because every time I wipe it off, it's got like gunk on the lid of it. It's terrible. Wish there was a better way for them to have quality control or seal their product in a different way. Okay, the market closes in 1 minute, and then that's gonna be it. Closing on a pretty rough note. Bunch of green candles into the close, but to tap in during this weekend, should go outside, get some exercise, touch some grass, do something off the screens, talk to your family, do something else, and then come back next week and lock in for the opportunity in the market. Take advantage of whatever is presented. There it is. There's the market close. All right, I'm gonna go get some lunch. Have a good rest of the day. And we're up. My account's up 25% or something. Gonna make a post about it right now and then go ahead and go into the weekend. Have a good week.